Welcome to the Mastering LinkedIn recorded workshop. In this workshop, we'll talk about how to complete your LinkedIn profile, how to network with UCR alum and professionals, as well as how to create content on LinkedIn.
So the agenda for today will be the 6 must-have components to making your profile stand out, additional profile enhancing tips, how to leverage your network on LinkedIn through activities such as engaging in comments and liking other people's posts, and utilizing the resources to find your next opportunity.
By the end of this workshop, you'll be able to identify why LinkedIn and online networking is important for you, understand how to create and/or enhance your LinkedIn profile, and you'll learn how to leverage your LinkedIn for opportunities and resources. At the bottom, we have our NACE career readiness competencies. So when it comes to creating your LinkedIn profile and networking on LinkedIn, this develops your ability to create professional relationships that could possibly foster opportunities, as well as practicing conducting yourself in a professional manner online, as well as, maybe virtual or face-to-face interactions in the future. LinkedIn also requires that you develop your ability to communicate your achievements and skills online via your profile, as well as any other communication that you might engage in as an extension of LinkedIn. So maybe it's messaging, commenting, or if you do informational interviews through video call or in person. You're also, as you develop in your career and your own personal development, you're recognizing the importance of online networking and how it can improve your job and internship search. And lastly, with technology, you're utilizing technology to engage in networking, enhance what people learn about you via your profile, and maintain an online presence that is consistent and authentic throughout not only your profile, but again, your interactions and engagements with others on LinkedIn.
So what are the benefits of a LinkedIn network? So there are over 40 million students and college graduates, 500 million professionals, over 150 industries, 3 million jobs listed on LinkedIn. And out of all of those people, 122 million were able to get an interview based on what was on their profile. So all of that is to say that having a strong LinkedIn profile is definitely very beneficial, and also building a strong LinkedIn network is beneficial to your overall career trajectory. Why should you create a profile? So creating a profile can help you gain exposure to hiring managers and recruiters who are active on LinkedIn. It can help you centralize your accomplishments. So your profile kind of works similar to a resume. You can post all of your experiences, projects, skills. It adds another tool to your networking resource kit. So in addition to in-person networking, you can also utilize online networking, and especially for people who maybe don't like in-person networking, this is definitely another route that you can take. It generates leads for potential opportunities. You can join groups, which could lead to generating those leads for opportunities, but also just increasing your network and developing meaningful relationships with people in your field. It allows you to research company and employee information. One of the things that I really love about LinkedIn is being able to go to company pages on LinkedIn, and you can see all of the posts that a company has created on LinkedIn, and you can see the people who work there currently or who have previously worked there, and you can start to go from there and see all of the people who are part of this network. And above and beyond all of that is LinkedIn and networking in general is to establish and maintain connections to develop meaningful relationships. That is really at the heart of LinkedIn and networking. So it's definitely not to use people to get a leg up in your career. It's really to develop relationships, professional relationships that make your work more meaningful. So the first part of the profile when you first go onto your LinkedIn or anyone's LinkedIn profile is the photo and the headline. So it's definitely important to make these things stand out. With the photo, be sure that you're smiling, dress business casual. If you don't have a photo yet, we do offer a service at our career fairs. If you go to one in person, you can ask one of the Career Center staff members to help you with creating or with taking a professional headshot. You could also take one in your own time at home. Just find a neutral background to stand in front of and dress professionally from the torso up, and you can have somebody assist you with that as well. Other things to include in your photo and headline is, of course, the headline. So if you're a current student, you could say that you are a business administration student, for example, and like this person has done in their example, seeking marketing internships. So you could include something like that to show what you're interested in, and then when people are searching, like recruiters, for example, if they're searching for marketing interns, that kind of helps with their search. Your profile would then have a higher chance of coming up in their search. Next is what we call like the about or summary. I think it's gone through different name changes. I'm not 100% sure what the current name of this is, but it's just a little bit about yourself. So here's where you could say, for example, I'm a second year business administration undergraduate student, and write a little bit about your skill set and what kinds of experiences you're interested in. So all of this is searchable content as well. So now we're going into that section a little bit more in detail. So this is the summary section. This is the exact text that was in the image in the slide before this one. So the point of this section is to describe what motivates you, what you're skilled at, and what your career aspirations are. So just to give people who are looking at your profile a sense of who you are. So you're currently a student, or did you recently graduate? What are your interests? What are some of your top skills? And what are you looking to do with all of that? So that's what this section is for. This example also has some specialties or kind of like a skills section that you would have on your resume. So they have the event planning, social networking, and marketing, as well as some software that the person is familiar with. Next, we have the education section. So starting with college, we recommend listing all of the educational experiences where you were either attaining a degree, so at UC Riverside, listing the degree that you are pursuing or have pursued if you've already graduated, and if you came from community college and you received an associate's degree or some kind of certificate, then you would include those there as well. Here we have the skills section. So the skills section on LinkedIn has a very unique feature called endorsements. So traditionally on a resume where you're including things like social media or ability to use PowerPoint, on LinkedIn you can put those things as skills as well, and then your connections can endorse you for those skills. So kind of vouching for your ability to use PowerPoint or your ability to use social media in a way to promote a business or an organization. So this is communicating to employers that your statements are more credible because you have additional people, additional professionals vouching for you. Then we have recommendations, which is also a very cool feature on LinkedIn. So you can have people within your network leave recommendations on your LinkedIn page, which will then be visible to anybody who visits your profile. This can be found at the bottom of the connections page. I think you can also access it on your profile page if you click on the blue button, add a section. I believe it's the last one, and you can ask for recommendations and fill in the web form that it populates, and start typing in somebody's name of a person you're connected with, and then it'll send that request to the individual. So again, this is adding additional credibility to your strengths and skills. Other ways to enhance your profile are to include volunteer experiences, honors and awards, organizations, and classes and projects. So these each have their own section on LinkedIn. These can all be accessible on the Add New section onto your profile on the web browser, and then I think this is the way that it looks on mobile. So similar to how you would do on a resume for volunteer experiences, projects, organizations where you had a large role or you contributed significantly to them, you could add additional bullet points. And for honors and awards, you would simply list them, the name of the honor and the award you received, and include the date as well. And these are just examples of some of the volunteer experiences and honors and awards. So one thing we want to emphasize is even if you weren't paid for a job, please list it. Any experience is valuable, whether you were paid for it or not. And oftentimes employers will see volunteer experience just as valuable as paid work. You're still gaining valuable skills that you can take with you anywhere, and just because that wasn't a paid opportunity doesn't make it any less so. And here we have an example of an honor or award. So this one does have a little bit of a description, so you can provide a brief description of what the award was for, and sometimes, you know, only a select few people are given this award, so you can indicate that as well, the exclusivity of it. Here we have examples of organizations as well as courses and projects and how you can include these on your LinkedIn profile. So for organizations, if you held a leadership role or if you contributed significantly to the organization, then we encourage you to include a description of what you did, similar to an experience, so following the TAR method that you may be familiar with from our resume writing workshop. So addressing the task, action, and result for each bullet point to describe your tasks and the impact that they had. Then for your courses and projects, if you built an app or you worked in a project with additional peers, whatever it is, you should include those things on your LinkedIn profile as well. And even if you don't have them on your resume, include them on your resume as well. This is, again, going back to the volunteer work. Experience can look in a variety of different ways. It doesn't have to be simply paid work. So your course projects are definitely very valuable because these are the projects where you're applying the skills and the knowledge that you're learning within your classes So they're going to be highly applicable to whatever your career goals might be. As for courses, so this is just a running list on LinkedIn of the courses that you've taken. I would recommend only including the most relevant ones. And, you know, for example, if you're a psych major, maybe don't include Intro to Psych because you're going to be taking, or you've probably already taken, more specialized courses in psychology. So you don't have to include every single course that you've taken at UCR or at your community college. It should just be a list of the courses that you want to highlight the most.
Here we have our NACE Career Readiness Competencies. So if you're not already familiar with NACE, NACE stands for the National Association of Colleges and Employers. Members of NACE consist of college career center professionals as well as employers representing the Fortune 500 companies and more. So these individuals have come together to decide on a set of career readiness competencies that they all agree broadly prepare college graduates for successful transition into the workplace. So these are the things that we recommend that you communicate on your LinkedIn profile, or when you're talking to recruiters on LinkedIn, or networking with professionals in your field of interest. Communicating these things is really important because this is what employers want to see. These are skills that you can develop in a wide variety of different areas. So whether you have a a directly related internship experience or not, you can develop these skills in course projects, research, volunteering, and so many more opportunities as well. So highly encourage you to include these things in your profile, as well as any other communications that you do on LinkedIn. And if you need any support with identifying these things, or you want to learn how to communicate these things better on LinkedIn, feel free to schedule an appointment or express career advising appointment with a career specialist.
Here we have the homepage where you can see the activity from your other connections, as well as sometimes you'll see articles that people your connections are connected to have reacted to, so it isn't always the people that you're directly connected with. This is also where you can start to create your own content, so you can create articles or share an update, publish a post. We highly encourage you to do so because the data shows that people who share updates regularly are 41% more likely to be contacted through LinkedIn.
So you might be wondering why or how LinkedIn is different from other social media platforms, or why can't you use LinkedIn for professional networking? Not that you couldn't, you could definitely use other social networks or social media such as Facebook and Instagram, and maybe Discord servers to connect with people, network with them, and that could eventually turn into potential opportunities, mentorships, things like that. So that's not saying that you can't do these things, but typically other social media platforms are not necessarily geared towards professional goals and careers, and networking for career and professional growth. For example, if we take donuts as our kind of like theme for all of these examples, this is how donuts might appear on different social media platforms. So on Facebook or maybe even Twitter, you might just say something like, I like donuts, and that's kind of it. You call it a day. On Snapchat, It might be just, a story of someone eating a donut. Pinterest, here's a donut recipe. And then WhatsApp, you might ask someone if they want a donut. Now, on the next slide, we'll kind of talk about how it's different on LinkedIn, how if we take the example of donuts, how that might look. So donuts on LinkedIn, conversely, might look something like saying, I hope to operate a donut franchise one day. I'm looking for a job at a donut company, or I have 3 years of experience making donuts. Maybe skills would be donut production and donut sales. And then your recommendations that live on your profile, they might be from people that you worked with at like a donut store or something. So while these may not be necessarily, what you post on LinkedIn, this is kind of like the foundation, what is at the core of your reason for being on LinkedIn. Because you hope to operate a donut franchise or you're looking for a job at a donut company and you want to utilize the experience and skills that you have related to donuts, as well as the praises that you have from former colleagues, you're trying to put that all in one place and leverage those things on this professional social media platform to get your next opportunity related to donuts. So these things might be embedded in your profile. You might talk about them in a sense on in posts on LinkedIn or in comments when you're talking to other people who have similar interests as you, or when you are messaging people on LinkedIn, for example. So that's kind of the difference between LinkedIn and other social media platforms. It really is that everyone is there for their own career professional growth and also to develop those connections with people who have similar goals and interests. But again, it's very possible to do professional networking on other social media platforms. It's just that LinkedIn is really made for that. If you're interested in creating content on LinkedIn through posts or articles and you really want to take those posts to that next level, I highly recommend that you check out Publishing on LinkedIn for college students and young professionals. It's a great course that is tailored towards the student perspective, the young or new professional perspective, in order to kind of take what your experiences are and what your unique background is and how you can communicate that to other people on LinkedIn, to your network of connections, to people you haven't connected with yet, but you want to find those like-minded people to connect with. So I highly recommend that you check this out. It's a really great course and one of the best resources on creating content on LinkedIn geared towards this perspective and population.
When creating posts on LinkedIn, try to use hashtags and mention people using the @ symbol. This will increase the likelihood that people who are following those hashtags or the individuals that you're mentioning will see the post that you're creating. If the people that you mention see it, then they might engage with it and then their connections will see it, your post, and they'll see you as well, and they might be inclined to click on your profile and so on and so forth. So this is another way that you can increase the visibility of your profile. When creating your posts, try to include value using information that people can't research. So this is where you can add your unique perspective as a student, something that no one else can replicate or look up online. While most people on LinkedIn are lurkers, so 90% of people lurk on LinkedIn, only 1% are content creators. And you might say, well, if everyone is lurking, then why do I have to create content? A lot of employers want to see people who are critical thinkers, who are thought leaders. Those are the people who are creating content. They can see that from those people who are actively and consistently posting content on LinkedIn. So that's one way that you can set yourself apart from other people who are applying for the same jobs you are. Another great feature about LinkedIn is that you can find alumni. So if you go to the UCR homepage, you can do so by going to the search bar at the top of your browser, and you can search UC Riverside. And when you go to the UC Riverside homepage, you can there's a section for finding alumni. So this is what the page looks like, and then on the left side we have that little navigation bar, and that's where you can click on alumni. And you can filter by things like where they live, where they work, what they studied, so you can narrow your search to include only alumni in fields or with an educational background that is more relevant to what your goals are. Once you find an alum that you want to connect with, we encourage you to send an invitation to connect. Always include a note if you don't know the person personally, and it can be something like this example here. Hi John, I am your name, majoring in major, and will graduate from UCR in 20. I have aspirations to work in, and your profile shows you have experience in this field. I would like to connect to ask a few questions about this field of work. Looking forward to connecting with you. Best, Darren. So very short, straight to the point. It includes a salutation, your name, what you're majoring in. You have UCR, which is that common connection, and it also could be your major as well, and what your intentions are behind reaching out to this person. You have this goal to work in maybe the same field as they do, and the profile, as you can see, shows that this individual you're reaching out to has experience in this field. And so your intention is to meet with this person to gain more insight through asking questions and learn more about this field. Another way that you can connect with individuals that you don't know is to get introduced. This is a really useful way because it allows you to bypass the 300 character limit that was visible in the previous example with the cold message or invitation and note. So if you have somebody who is connected to someone that you want to get to know more, then I would encourage you to reach out to this person and see if they can introduce you via LinkedIn. That would allow you to message the person and bypass that 300 character limit. And so you would be able to add more information to the message. However, I would still encourage you to be as concise as possible. Other leverage enhancing tips are following companies that you're interested in and joining groups. Joining groups can be especially useful because once you are a member of a certain group, you can send a direct message to any professional that you're in the group with without having to connect with them first. So it's another useful way to bypass that 300 character limit. So all of the different strategies we discussed so far are kind of ways to get at the hidden job market. So these are ways that LinkedIn can supplement your job search through getting information from professionals, learning how they got into their career path, and also connecting with recruiters, professionals, and alumni. And those might actually lead to potential opportunities. Next, we'll talk about the job search tools that LinkedIn provides. So LinkedIn provides a variety of different filters in their job search board, things like filtering by the date that a job was posted, by the company experience level, as well as other filters that are unique to LinkedIn, such as Easy Apply, where you can use your LinkedIn profile to apply to the job as opposed to filling out like a web application and sending your resume and cover letter. So I encourage you to look at the All Filters button and explore some of the different filters and how they might support you in enhancing your job search. Lastly, you can create a search alert. So you can search for a job as you normally would, and then you can click on Create Search Alert. That will save your search based on the keywords and the filters you've applied, and then it will alert you on a schedule that you choose whenever there are new jobs posted. Next, we'll talk about the job search tools that LinkedIn provides. So LinkedIn provides a variety of different filters in their job search board, things like filtering by the date that a job was posted, by the company experience level, as well as other filters that are unique to LinkedIn, such as Easy Apply, where you can use your LinkedIn profile to apply to the job as opposed to filling out like a web application and sending your resume and cover letter. So I encourage you to look at the All Filters button and explore some of the different filters and how they might support you in enhancing your job search. Lastly, you can create a search alert. So you can search for a job as you normally would, and then you can click on Create Search Alert. That will save your search based on the keywords and the filters you've applied, and then it will alert you on a schedule that you choose whenever there are new jobs posted. On a side note, if you haven't already, please set up your Handshake account. You can use Handshake to search for jobs that are specifically for you as a UCR student. So it will make your competition a lot more focused. So your competition for jobs will be other UCR students. Whereas if you're looking on LinkedIn or other third-party sites, then your competition is a lot broader. Did you know that approximately 70% of jobs are filled through networking? This makes networking extremely important to your job search. So consider finding a way to network that works for you, whether that is through informational interviews via Zoom, phone, or in person, scheduling coffee or lunch, which can be virtual as well, attending mixers or networking events. A lot of professional associations have moved to doing like different networking events through Zoom or other video conferencing platforms. And that's another thing as well. Reach out to professional associations in the fields that you're interested in. Those are great ways to connect with professionals and network. Attend on-campus panels, career fairs, and information sessions. These can be virtual as well, so I would definitely keep an eye out for any emails from the Career Center and check out the fairs if you're able to. They're great ways to reach out to employers and learn about the opportunities that they have. There's also this statistic: LinkedIn users who update their profiles regularly get more job offers than peers who contact recruiters. So this also makes a strong case for networking via LinkedIn. So engaging with people virtually and in person are all very important ways and very important strategies in the job search. We are almost through this slide deck, so I encourage you to either take a moment right now or at the end of the entire presentation to go on LinkedIn or create a LinkedIn profile if you don't have one already and add your connections. So make sure that you have added UCR as a school. If you went to a community college, add your community college experience on there as well. And that way it'll start to populate potential connections that you might know. So that way you can add them, send the invitation to connect. If it's been a while since you've spoken to them and you're not sure if they'll remember you or not, feel free to include a note as well, or just even say something like, "So happy to see you on LinkedIn. I hope that we can stay in touch and keep each other informed on any professional updates. And that way you can start to expand your network. We've gone over a lot of information so far, but this is really just the tip of the iceberg for LinkedIn. So if you have any questions,